Working oh so preciously hard on those beaches of Cannes in southern France.
Yes, as you know by now, every day this week between 8:30 and 9 we've been broadcasting live from the Cannes Film Festival in the south of France. So let's join Jayne Irving for Bonjour Bretagne.
Hello, bonjour and welcome to Bonjour Britain. You join us on the final day of our live broadcasts from the 41st International Film Festival on a fab day. It's absolutely wonderful weather. The actual main prize at the film festival, the Palme d'Or, which is kind of like Film of the Year, isn't announced until Monday. And there's all sorts of rumours about who's going to win it. For instance, the Chinese, their first time at the festival, are reckoned to be in with a very good chance for their film, The King of Children. But the Brits really are here in force, and they've got 3 films that are up for it, including Pascali's Island, A World Apart, and Drowning by Numbers, which was screened last night to a standing ovation. So it'll be very exciting to see who actually wins that. Tonight here in Cannes, Sir David Lean, that doyen of the British film industry, is having a special tribute for his 80th birthday, and there are going to be all sorts of tributes paid to him by people like Omar Sharif will be there, for instance, who of course was Dr. Zhivago in his film Dr. Zhivago, and of course he'll always be remembered for those kind of big dramatic historical films like Lawrence of Arabia and Bridge over the River Kwai and things. Anyway, I think the most unusual hit of the festival so far is a film by a British filmmaker. It doesn't sound British. It's called Hugo van Laarwyck, and it's called People of the Forest, and it's a touching love story. Rather unusual though, because it's about chimpanzees, and apparently it took him 20 years to make, but everybody's talking about it here at the festival at the moment. Now, do you remember yesterday I mentioned to you that Michael Jackson is going to make his first full-length feature film? It's at what they call at the moment, it's at what they call principal photography stage, which basically means it isn't finished yet. But anyway, we've got an exclusive first ever British TV screening of it right now.
What are you stopping for? That star over there. Maybe that's his lucky star. He needs one.
Looks lively, doesn't it? It's called by the film company A Whimsical Journey Through the World of Michael Jackson. The interesting thing about it is that here everybody has to kind of flog their films to get people to buy them. Nobody has seen this film, and yet it's been sold all the way around the world already. Actually, all this week we've been hearing from various pop stars who've moved into films. We spoke to Sting and of course to Bob Geldof. Well, our special guests this morning are Gary and Martin Kemp from, of course, Spandau Ballet, who are just about to play the notorious Cray twins in a film of the same name, and they're with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Hello.
Why do you think it is that pop stars seem to be going into the movies in a big way these days?
I don't know. I think there's a very close link between the two industries, you know, the music business and film business. But I personally get really angry that lots of people in bands and rock music think there's a natural progression just for the fact that they've been on a video, like a few videos and making music and have been shot really nicely, and think that it's a natural thing. The next thing to do is to go into acting. They're two completely different ideas, right? Where Gary and I, everything we learnt that we used in the band, we learnt from a drama school.
That's right. So you both were sort of trained as actors anyway, weren't you, Gary?
I mean, I'd like to think that we were chosen for the role not because we were in a band and because we were well known already. I think they had to choose brothers, and people knew that we'd already done like 7 years with Anna Scher in London training as actors, and that we were always wanting to move back into making films, and the craze was something that we always wanted to do, because to play brothers on screen was something that excited us as well.
We're going to talk some more about the film a little bit later, but I'm intrigued by your acting career. I mean, what sort of parts have you played, Martin, in the past?
I think in the 8 years we were at school, I think Gary and I something like 30 television
Really?
shows. Well, we done Play for Todays and comedy playhouses, and I done this thing, Glycerin Prizes, when I was 14. And but it all finished when we were 15 and we wanted to become pop stars.
Yeah. I mean, have you always kind of had it at the back of your mind though, Gary, that, you know, one day you'd like to get back into the acting?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, films interest us, and we've made like 18 videos, and we like working on a set. That's exciting as well. But this film in particular, I actually didn't really think about making another film. But for the last 4 years, the idea of playing the Krays has always been on my mind.
Really, even before someone approached you to do it?
Before it was offered to us, yeah. Because
I think that particular role is the easiest and most natural role that we could have ever been offered. It's almost as if we're not even going to have to act. You know what I mean? It's almost as if we're just going to go in and play ourselves, because it's the same sort of we're the same sort of people with the same sort of background.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, we have the truth that we are really brothers to draw on when we're on screen. I think that's what we'll be doing.
How did they actually decide which one of you would play which brother?
No, everyone was convinced that they knew it was this way round, that I was to play Ronnie and he was to play Reggie. And in fact, when we went to see Ronnie last week, he just said straight away, he said, "You're more like me and he's more like my brother."
Yeah.
So, I don't know why.
Oh, I do.
He does.
Go on, then you tell us, Mark.
I can't.
I think it's the relationship that we have as brothers is similar to the relationship that Ronnie had with Reggie.
Well, we'll talk some more about that, because that sounds very intriguing indeed. But right now, we'll take a break. After the break, Richard Gere.
Next time you get a stain, don't worry. Because for almost any stain, there's a stain devil.
Your game. Oh, you're yeah, shattered.
Some things in life suit each other perfectly. Then again, some things don't. It's the same with life insurance. But with over 120 companies to choose from, how do you get an unbiased opinion on which policy suits you? Simple. From now on, ask for independent financial advice, because the right life insurance policy can be a man's best friend.
Remember the amazing Tefal thick and thin toaster? Well, we've improved it. Naturally, it'll still toast
thin slices like this.
Or whacking great doorsteps like these. And lots more, from crumpets to tea cakes to Melba toast. But now, instead of just 2 slices, it can toast 4 at once.
New from Tefal, the only 4-slice thick and thin toaster.
I wish I had a lovely surprise. Something to play with and some chocolate.
Kinder is everything a kid could wish for, because inside there's a lovely surprise to play with. And lovely chocolate, with more milk and less cocoa.
And now with coffee training for the Olympic Games, a new surprise, a Kinder surprise.
Hello, bonjour, and welcome back to Bonjour Britain. Our special guests this morning are Gary and Martin Kemp from Spandau Ballet, now about to be actors, of course. And I think I may have mentioned yesterday that Richard Gere is in town to promote his latest film called Miles from Home. Well, I met up with him at a restaurant the other night, just before he was about to pop off for a meal with his mates. And He's actually talking about the film. The film centres around the life of two brothers who run a farm in the Midwest. So I asked him if he was close to his own family.
Yeah, I am very close to them. But there's a whole aspect of my father and my mother that in the whole, both sides of my parents' families that came from farm country. And so and my father had 4 brothers. So this incredible thing of family and brothers and animals and land and growing things and dying things and all these very primal things are very much a part of my makeup, and it was wonderful to have a vehicle to work on that.
Even before the film was shown, the buzz around the industry was, this is Richard Gere's best film. Watching it, did you feel most proud of it than anything you've done before?
I don't think of it like that, but I'm very proud of it.
When you got your first real success, I mean, how did you handle it then?
I was always much better as a successful person than I was as a not successful one, strangely enough. I always found that it brought out the best in me. I don't know if that's always true, but...
So when you were lean and hungry, you didn't feel you were as nice a person then?
Yeah, well, there was not particularly happy times, you know, when you don't know when your next meal's going to come in. And you're carrying around this gun of talent, you know, this loaded pistol of creativity inside of you, and you don't know quite where to put it. You know, it eats you up.
I know that recently you've become very involved and committed to Buddhism. What sparked your interest in it in the first place?
I think you have to have some philosophy that makes sense in terms of the real things of life, which are kindness and compassion and openness and the ability to communicate in a real and human way.
You've actually met the Dalai Lama, haven't you?
Yeah, I would consider him a friend at this point.
Do you think you're a happy person?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of it is the work to do directly with involvement with the Dalai Lama and teachers there, but a lot of it is just growing older. You know, you loosen up a lot.
And do you think that it sort of helped you in relationships with other people as well?
Sure, sure.
One of the basic tenets of Buddhism is a belief in reincarnation. Do you ever have a sense that you may have lived other lives?
Yeah, I couldn't say specifically. I don't think I was Napoleon. I may have been Marie Antoinette, I don't know.
And do you chant regularly?
No, do you?
Yes, I do actually, every day.
Really? Well, that's terrific. That's helped you a lot? Mm. Maybe you'd like to widen. We'll turn this around. We ready to do this? Widen the shot. We'll bring it around now, then you can center it back around, and we're going to talk to Jayne.
You don't look as pretty.
Turn around now. Come in.
You don't look as good from the back, really.
Why don't you talk about the chanting, which is great if you're able to talk about that.
I'm going to ask you a question that is guaranteed to get you out of your seat and back with your friends. Right. Do you think you might get married?
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this. Thank you all.
Richard Gere in a rather playful mood the other night. Gary and Martin Kemp from the Spandau Ballet are here to talk about the fact that they're about to play the Cray twins in a new film. And you may remember that the Cray brothers, Ronnie and Reggie, were called the kings of crime, and they really ruled the London underworld in the 1950s and 1960s. And I think we have a shot of them somewhere that you can see what they used to look like. And as I say, they were finally convicted of murder in 1969, and they've been in prison ever since. And I think we can have a look now at what they used to look like. There we can see that there's Reggie on the left and Ronnie on the right, and that's actually the other brother, Charlie, in the middle. And now here we have a shot of Martin and Gary as they look in the film, and it really is quite staggering, the resemblance. And perhaps we'll have a look at what they looked like this morning, which is somewhat different. It is incredible how they got you to look like that.
Well, it's good fun. It was the first time, you know, that we were made up in separate rooms and then brought together later. And it was the first time I walked into the room. I thought it was me sitting there. I was like, it's incredible. The first time for years I'd seen the same, like the resemblance between us.
Once they'd blacked our hair to be the same, and was, you know, just really bringing some of our features together with makeup. it was really good to sort of sit in the mirror and look at each other, and like, we did look much more alike than we've ever done before.
Was the story of the Gere twins something that you actually grew up with? Because you're sort of East End lads, aren't you?
Well, it's well, not far North London, but it's something that is a legend in London. Our parents are the same age as the Geres, and as kids I always remembered hearing about them. And I think before they came to trial, they did have a charisma that made people sort of look in awe towards them, a kind of Robin Hood thing. It wasn't until the real truth came out in the trial that a lot of people sort of stood back in horror at what really the Geres were about.
Martin, you actually met one of the Geres, didn't you?
Yeah, we met Ronnie in Broadmoor the other week.
And what was that like?
It was fascinating, incredibly fascinating.
What was he like?
Well, it seems really weird to say. He was very polite, he was kind.
He's a really nice man.
He seemed like a really nice uncle. But I mean...
He clearly wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, but it was fascinating for that reason. But it was very sad as well. We walked out afterwards and you went into the West End and you saw everyone getting on with their life, and it was just a really good thing to go in there and come out and feel that these people were in that prison for 30 years. It was really...
The saddest thing is like
I suppose there's one thing actually that people may think when they hear that you're about to make a film, which is quite a glamorous thing, about a piece of really horrific, quite recent history. Isn't there a danger of kind of glamorising it?
Well, I think the Gere twins were glamorous people. They were incredibly charismatic, and so we have to play them in that way. But that's not to glamorise what they did. I don't think we could glamorise the violence. In fact, it's the juxtaposition of the violence and them as being very glamorous, almost pop stars, you know, with people like David Bailey wanted to take their picture, and Judy Garland wanted to go out and drink with them, and people like that. It was that juxtaposition is the horror of the film, I think.
Martin, will the film actually be violent itself?
I should say, good guess. Yeah. I mean, it's essential. What's in it is essential. It's essential, like Gary says, to show 1 minute they're at home with their family and they're ordinary people and nice, and they love their mum and dad and look after their parents and their uncles and brothers, and they love their aunt. And the next minute they're going into town and they're committing these murders and horrific crimes. And so it's good to show the two sides of it and why it happened and where it come from.
One final question, which I know all Spandau Ballet fans will be sitting there just watching, thinking, oh dear, does this mean they're going to give up the band?
No, we're actually in the middle of recording an album back in London.
Great. Well, we hope to see the film in Cannes next year. Thanks ever so much for coming up and chatting to us this morning.
Thanks, yeah.
We'll take a break.
Home from the Crusades, Richard was again to taste the fruit so long denied him. Petit filou, truly a dessert fit for a king.
Dad! Dad! Come on, Dad!
You only need two things to really enjoy a bath in this house on a Friday. Improved Wright's coal tar soap and nerves of steel. It's your own fault. You'll all be up here tonight, up to your ears in Wright's, and all I'll get is stone cold water, so I'm having a bath early. Very early.
Darling!
Come on, clean and freshen me. If all that not beat the door down.
New Wright's coal tar soap. Just right for all the family.
Bonjour, welcome back to Bonjour Britain. Now, all this week, our reporter Paul Risen has been taking an investigative look at all the hype, the glamour and the glitz, which is an essential part of the Cannes scene. And it really does seem to be the case that it isn't almost what you do, but it's the style with which you do it. And so in Paul's final piece this morning, he takes a very serious look at the very serious business of posing.
From Cannes this week, an object lesson in how to get yourself noticed. Becoming more than just another face in the crowd was the name of the game, and they've been happy to do it here for years.
This place is Cannes, where the film festival has been in full swing. It's had its crazy side, of course, this festival, and the big idea is to do anything that'll get your face into the picture. How? When? There are many ways of attracting the camera, but I must say the cameramen can spot a photogenic face whenever they see one. Having found his subject, He naturally likes to include all angles. Ah, spring on the Mediterranean. Can summer be far behind?
All this week, for either the camera or just the sheer performance of it, Cannes has been a poser's paradise, bristling with would-be actors just waiting to do a turn. In your favourite pavement cafe, you could pose as your favourite director. Roger Moore's changed a bit since we last saw him. French screen goddess Jean Moreau's clearly in the wrong scene altogether. Somebody once described Cannes as a sunny place for shady people. Well, there may not be much sun around at the moment, but let me tell you, there are plenty of shades. Sunny or cloudy, day or night, lace sunglasses have been the essential style prop. Face furniture for the film festival, for those dogged by the fashions. Yes, the canines of Cannes have a chic all their own. Effortlessly adopting the perfect pose, the poodle. Something Gallic about the struggle against the tyranny of the leash. Something comic about being led by your lunch. And amidst all the hype, there have also been a few films. Not that everybody has been to see them.
If you're careful, you can avoid them. The big secret, of course, is to try to see as many of those that are important in London before coming here.
And if you ask if anyone actually has seen a film here, you get the same reply.
No.
No.
No. No.
No. No.
So in the end, it was all down to posing. The eternal fascination of the older man with the younger woman. Those whose pose was in the direction of an altogether higher power. Those to whom posing was the most natural thing in the world. And those whose pose just made you want to say, cut.
And I'm afraid that is virtually cut for us here at Cannes. I hope you've enjoyed the 41st Film Festival here at Cannes. We've had a great time. So that's just about it from us. I'll hand you back to London.
Jane, thanks very much. Hope you have a smashing weekend.
Thank you very much.
Many congratulations on what's been, as you say, an enjoyable week, Jane. Aye, aye? Oh, that's nice. Balloons.
We like to go off with a bang, you see.
Party time in Cannes. Thank you very much, Jane. Enjoy all those 58 parties you're going to get crashing the next 2 days.
Thank you.
And we'll say Jane back here, of course, next week on After 9. Also next week, can I just tell you who's popping in to see us on Good Morning Britain? On Monday, Douglas Fairbanks Jr.
A real star. What a lady killer. The ultimate lady killer was Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Probably still is.
Tuesday, Tiny Tim. Tiptoe through the tube.
Thank you, Richard. Moving briefly and quickly on to Wednesday. Martin Shaw. You all know who Martin Shaw is, don't you?
Thursday, LA law actors Jill Eikenberry and Michael Tucker will be popping in to see us. And on Friday,
Brian Prothero and
a familiar old face. Nice to see Annika Rice back this time next week. Looking forward to that.
Talking of seeing people back, Richard, in a way it's a sad moment. Trish Williamson's returning to the weather on Monday. That's not sad. I'm sure many of you look forward to seeing Trish back again. But how well George has done standing in for Trish over the last 3 weeks. She's done extremely well. It's been a pleasure working with you, George.
Likewise, Michael. Thank you for having me. Well, the weather today, pretty good. We've got an area of high pressure which has moved from the Atlantic Ocean eastwards and is situated over the British Isles, most parts of the British Isles. Apart from that eastern side there, a little bit of showers to start with, and they're going to hang around for most part of the day, but there's a bit of sun there as well, and some ground frost in central parts of England, southern England today, and also Wales. Up in the north, not a very good picture today, slightly duller, and there's going to be quite a few showers around, and that's all due to a couple of frontal troughs hanging off Greenland at the moment, and they're affecting that northern and western part of Scotland quite a lot today, so rain hanging around there. But as I say, nice and bright to start with over most parts of the British Isles and Wales, and Northern and Southern Ireland, and quite a bit of sun around. So if we move on to this afternoon to have a look at those temperatures, and they have crept up, and in fact yesterday the Scilly Isles had 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit, and it looks like it's going to happen again today down there in the southwest, and a degree higher in southern England, 17 degrees, and lots more sun around, as you can see, in Wales, Southern Ireland and Northern Ireland, and some good temperatures there. And that's going to hang around for most part of the weekend this weekend. It's going to be a dry and bright weekend. Different story in the north though, because of those frontal troughs hanging around up there. They're going to be affecting that coast quite a lot, and more showers and cloud around, unfortunately. Eastern coast still that rain hanging around. And if we have a quick look at this evening, we'll see the lowest temperatures for tonight, and this will be about midnight temperatures tonight. Ground frost again creeping in up there in the north of Scotland and also in central parts of England. A very clear, bright night and quite a few clouds around, dotted around. But wherever you are, have a great weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Back to Richard and Mike.
George, thanks very much. Well done. Stay with us, Mike and Russell, on After 9 in a moment. Right now, here's Gordon with the news at exactly 9 o'clock.
Hello, good morning. In Northern Ireland, the Army have defused a 1,400-pound bomb discovered beside a road in Crossmaglen in County Armagh. A few miles away in neighbouring County Down, several people were arrested after police discovered an arms cache hidden in a village hall at Clough. And police say that an explosion at an agricultural show in Belfast yesterday, which injured 12 people, was almost certainly caused by a gas leak and not by a bomb, as first thought. It seems that the blast was caused by a malfunctioning gas cylinder. Scientists will start sifting through the debris of the RUC recruitment caravan at the centre of the blast later this morning. In the Irish Republic, the new extradition agreement between Britain and Ireland will be tested for the first time today. An Irish court will hear the application to have Patrick McVeigh extradited to Britain to face charges of planning several bomb attacks. McVeigh was released from prison 2 days ago and immediately rearrested. Pubs in England and Wales have been given the go-ahead to introduce all-day drinking by the end of July. The Licensing Act, which received the royal assent last night, abolishes the afternoon break for pubs and clubs and extends licensing hours from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on weekdays. There will also be an extra hour of drinking at Sunday lunchtime, with time not being called until 3 p.m. America's ambassador to the United Nations, Vernon Walters, will return to Beirut today, hoping to secure the release of 9 American hostages. They and 3 British hostages are thought to be held in the city's southern suburbs. Meanwhile, the father of a British hostage, John McCarthy, met the Foreign Secretary Sir Geoffrey Howe last night. Mr. McCarthy urged the government to seek the intervention of Iran in the case. Finally, Sarah Lindsay, the wife of Major Hugh Lindsay, who died in an avalanche while on a skiing trip with Prince Charles in March, has given birth to a daughter. The baby was born 6 days ago, and the birth was announced in the Times this morning. That's the news. It's after 9. Here's Mike Morris.